What's up, everybody? It's your girl, BeTwan, and I am back with Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 7, Between Two Worlds. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure you like the videos. Y'all, thank you for getting me to a little bit over 500. I appreciate it. The comments on all the Queen's men, y'all really showed out on the views in the comments. I appreciate that. Let's just keep that thing going. Anyway, let's jump right in this episode because it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. So we start with Lance and Destiny. Lance and Destiny finally have their conversation, which I feel like it didn't need to be had, but I guess it was a decent conversation. So Destiny says in this conversation she just wants clarity and to move forward from everything. Lance finally decided to disclose the info about the baby, which she had already known at this point, but he gave her information about it. Destiny was just like, well, why didn't you tell me? We had encounters, we talked, but you never said anything about a child. So then Lance and Destiny talk about how Destiny thought that the Fletchers knew everything. And he told her that his parents didn't know. And I just feel like if we could just kind of sum up this whole thing, I feel like he was just pissed off because Destiny probably said at that reunion, well, she was at the reunion, and she said, she's just dating. And he also felt like he didn't have to disclose the information about him having a baby if she's just dating and they're just cool and kicking it. I really think Lance felt the way, and because he withheld this information about the baby from her. He felt like it wasn't important to share with Destiny, I guess. So we then find out that he felt the way because Destiny thought that his bodyguard, which she only thought that was the bodyguard, and he allowed her to use his bodyguard as a favor for her event or party or whatever. But it turns out that was his godbrother Twan. Y'all, Twan was fine, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And Destiny made a comment. She was looking at him. Kimmy said something about googly eyes, and I want to say Destiny told him something about you don't go nowhere or anything like that. And I think that's all it led to. Nothing. It wasn't nothing more. I don't think it was nothing less. So Destiny tells Lance that that somebody told her that Twan was interested in her, and she said, if he comes and asks me, I will take him up on that offer. And she was like, are you cool with it? And he said he was cool with it, and they shook on it. It was just a matter of ego, and I feel like Lance's ego was kind of bruised with Destiny. And I think because Nell keeps saying, I know how my son is, I know my son. So it makes me feel like Lance is just one of those men who can get a woman, who can pull any woman. And he's always had the upper hand, I guess, on the women until he met Destiny. So I was like, I guess I just feel like Lance's ego was bruised, and he got in his feelings when it came to Destiny. Point blank and period. So we get to the next scene. It was the guys. Martell, Chris, Ken. Why y'all keep calling him Ken Lee? Whatever. That's his name. Okay? Ken Lee is his name. Martell, Big Fine Will. Okay? Lance and Marceau. They're all meeting up at this golfing place, dinner, golf, or whatever. So Marceau hasn't arrived yet. Right, so all the guys start to arrive. Everybody exchange pleasantries. And Maurice said in his confessional that he want the fellas to set some ground rules moving forward for their friendship. And Martell and Lance have this sidebar conversation about Destiny. And he tells Martell, word on the street is she's interested in one of his boys. And Lance, I just don't like that, because now you're trying to allude to Destiny trying to be like a hoe or fast or something. I didn't like that. You trying to make this lady look like she the neighborhood pass around. Okay? So for me, Destiny told Lance about what told her what Trisha, told him what Trisha said that Twan said or whatever. And he said he was okay with it. So now you want to act like you're so hurt. Because he told Crit, I think Fletch was listening, and Martell, that he just kind of felt the way. No, you was hurt. You was in your feelings. And you're mad now because she's no longer interested in you, but there seems to be some interest from Twan from Destiny, and you really feel away. Like, you really feel away, and that's just what it is. But don't try to make it seem like Destiny is trying to be that girl, trying to get with Twan just because, like, no. Anyway, Marceau shows up, and he said in his confessional, listen, I'm not going to choose to smoke, but I'm not going to back down either. He said he's nothing more than just gas, and if there's smoke, it's going to blow. So y'all know Marceau has always been that person. He never said anything. He'll say little sneaky sly stuff maybe in his confessional or maybe jokingly. But to see this Marceau show up, it's like, Marceau, we kind of been waiting for you to show up like that since season 1, but mainly show up like that for Tisha. But that's just my personal opinion. Y'all really making me like Marceau. I really, really like how Marceau is showing up this season. So he actually greets everybody, Martell included, right? So Martell Raggedy Ass said in his confessional, him and the guys are just having a good conversation, and here comes Marceau acting like they cool after him and Tisha spread lies about him around town. He then said how Marceau has been two-faced, and he don't think men should have that type of fakery with them. And I'm just looking at Martell like the level of delusion that Martell really sits under is very fabulous. That is the word I'm going to use today. It is fabulous how this man sat here and really acting like he's the victim. Martell has been a terror since season 1. Anyway, Ken talked about the conversation between him, Will, and Fletcher about Trisha and Trisha and Marquez of it all. He said in his confessional he's over having to cater to both sides. They asked if she will be ready to marry him, and then he decided to pipe up and say he don't know if he'll be ready to marry her because she needs to work on some things. Ken, first of all, you knew Trisha needed to work on some things upon you approaching this situation. Let's be clear. But you sitting here trying to play the victim, and you inserted yourself in between Trish and Martell, because we all know that Trish is a person who always needs a mouthpiece to speak for her on behalf of Marquez. So I just don't understand. Ken was always willing to do all of these things, speak on her case, because in turn it make him look like the good guy as the stepdad, because y'all know he kept throwing all of that stuff in Marquez's face, and y'all know I don't even see it for Marquez like that. But I also feel like Ken worn himself out because you've inserted yourself so much in this emotional toxic roller coaster that is called Ken and Trisha. You did that. Like, I just don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for Ken. And now he's sitting here acting like he's somewhat of a victim. Sir, Ken Lee, go somewhere. Okay? Okay, you fine and everything, but I just think you a little off sometimes. Like y'all, it's just amazing how some of these people decide they want to act on these shows. Like, come on. So Martell want to continue to troll us with Ariane. He decided to ask Ken if Ken knew Ariane. Ken said he didn't know Ariane. Then he tells Ken that Trisha told him that Ken knew Ariane. And Ken said, if I knew her, I would tell you. I don't have nothing to hide nor nothing to lie about. So Martell takes this time out to shade Marceau just by complimenting Ken and saying everybody ain't real like that. Martell then asked Will and Fletch if they knew Ariane, and they said no. First of all, Ariane ain't that girl, okay? And the fact that you keep trying to push this girl every time we see you on screen is amazing. After you call that lady a peasant, like after you downplay that lady, you still downplaying her. You just trying to make her feel like first place because now you get to mention her on the show. And probably because you don't want her to be on the show, but you'll mention her on the show because she dumb enough to take the breadcrumbs from you. That's what that. Martell says that he had a conversation with Marceau a while back. He said Marceau mentioned that Ariane was out here getting plucked. Okay? So production flashed back to the argument that they had at the park between Marceau, Tisha, and Martell. Martell says that he still feel a way about that whole conversation. And at this point, Martell, we really don't care. We don't care. So Will said, he stopped, took a moment and said, well, you know, I know Ariane a little more than what I led. He said he used to train back in the day, and she came over to the house. I'm sorry, y'all. And everybody started to laugh because y'all know that was Ken's story with Martin. I'm sorry. Can we please bring Will in a little bit of full time, okay? Y'all had Martell shaking like booty meat at this point because I don't understand. I really don't understand. You sitting here acting like you don't treat Ariane like dog shit. You really treat this lady like dog shit. Even though all I'm saying is, individually, you have treated outside of your marriage that you had. You have went out of your way to treat Ariane like dog shit, ain't even cheat on her with other women allegedly. Okay, so Maurice want the men to make up, and you know everybody heads outside at this point. So Marceau gets really childish at this point and said he want to eat some coleslaw in the back of a Buick. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought that was funny. That was just him trolling Martell. And y'all know when Marceau knows these too many M's. When Marceau knows that you're pissed off at him, he'll go out of his way to be a bigger asshole. Like he do. I'm sorry, he do. So everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to get to point A of this beef. Let's start from the beginning. So Martell is recreating history as Marceau said, right? So Marceau was like, listen, the beef with me is Martell got caught cheating and he want to drag everybody else down. Martell gets pissed off at this moment and tells Marceau to shut the fuck up. So Marceau proceeds to say, you know, he continuously makes bad decisions and he blamed everybody else for his decisions. He said Martell has always seen him, you know, on not so on the right level. And as things start to rise in Marceau's life, Martell then makes it a point to try to bring him down. He said Martell have so much to say, such as the Scots do this and the Scots do that. And Marceau also said how Martell is always mentioning him on the blogs, in interviews, yada, yada, yada. Marceau tells Martell, I'm not your boy like that. And Marceau said, if you got something, now this is how I'm showing up. So if you got something to say, I got something to say back. And I'm going to say that I agree with Marceau. Again, do we all think that Marceau and Maurice have done something behind Tisha and Kimmy's back? Yeah, we do. There is no proof. And then Martell is still sitting here threatening to air out something. So Marceau was like, put it out on the playground. If you really have something to say, go ahead and put it out on the playground. But stop sitting here trying to act like, you just have something on me. Like, at this point, I'm with Marceau with challenging Martell. Put it out there. At the end of the day, Martell is miserable. He is miserable. He is displaying this level of misery because apparently he's circled around the block with his baby mom, the one he keep trying to troll us with, in the car following his ex-wife and saying things to her. Like, I didn't get the full story, but that's just the gist of it. Martell is an unhappy man, and he thrives on making other people miserable right along with him. And what's her name? Ariane should feel less than. Like, for so many reasons. But she can't see past Martell's deep. Okay? She can't. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how. I don't like Martell. But there are times if Martell is right about something, I will be like, you know what? He was right about that. But in this situation, in this instance, Marceau had him 100%. Marceau drags Martell by his scalp. That's it. That's all, y'all. I don't know. So Ken and Maurice said in their confessional that they think that Marceau and Martell are tripping. They sing insults. Their egos are high. Basically, I disagree with both comments because Martell is the only one that ego is up here. Do they call it I don't know if it's a deflated ego or I don't know, but Martell ego is up here. Martell is a trash human being, and I think with Marceau, I think after years of somebody always saying something about you and you haven't brought out the proof, but you bringing out all the threats, now I'm about to get with your ass. Now I'm finna challenge you. Do what you need to do. Put it out there. Put it out there. Like, you've said everything. Like, I don't know. Martell is miserable. And that's just where I'm at with it. Like, he needs to go get some intense therapy. He needs to go figure his stuff out. And he needs to go heal somewhere. Because all he want to do is wreak havoc on everybody's life. I feel sorry for his children, but he just want to wreak havoc on everybody's life. Martell is not a good person, not in my book, and I pray none of his kids turn out anything like him. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, Nell messy ass, right? She's at the gym with Lance and Twan. Y'all, let me tell y'all, Twan is fine as a mother clucker. Can't get my words right. Twan, baby. Baby, the way, I'm with Destiny. The way I would climb that tree. Sorry. All right. So, the reason for this is for them just to get together to talk about Destiny, to, I guess, soothe Lance's ego. Because he is visibly salty because Destiny ain't running around behind him probably like he used to with all of these women. So, Nell bring up, for Nell to bring, what I put? Oh, for them to bring in Nell, for Nell to be Lance's, to uphold Lance in this bullshit ass storyline is really insane to me. Um because no matter what, come rain, sleet, snow, what's her name? Nell gonna always have her son back. Point blank in a period. And I felt like this was them low key slut shaming Destiny. Like, and what pissed me off about Nell joining in this bullshit, this ego driven bullshit, is the fact that you was once a side piece. But it's just that you just happened to get married to Fletcher. Like, if you don't go directly to him, okay? And Destiny is a single woman. She has no man, no tie, nothing. Your son is in his feelings. But instead of you telling him, you in your feelings about Destiny and holding his feet to the fire, you sit here with them and talk shit about Destiny. Like, that pissed me off. Y'all, that pissed me off. So, Twan was like, listen, I'm standing by you. Basically, hoes over bros, right? Now tells Lance that Destiny is playing in his face. And I disagree. I think that Lance is in his feelings. I think that Lance thought that he'll have the upper hand in whatever him and Destiny had going on, but clearly it didn't happen like that. Lance is used to women running behind him. Lance is used to being the so-called prize in all of those different relationships he's been in. You can tell. Look at him. I just need, for me, my personal opinion is also I need Nell to mind her business and let her son do whatever he gonna do. Because you being in the middle of this is just as trifling. I don't understand. I don't understand this situation. Lance needs to grow the hell up. And you still telling them half truths. You did tell Twan that somebody said, somebody told Destiny that Twan was interested in him. You needed Twan right there to corroborate this whole situation with you. I don't know. So Twan basically was like hoes over bros, and but he never denied it. He was like, oh, you my brother, I wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. But you probably did. Like, because he just kept smiling. Like, his smile was just, I don't know if that was a nervous smile or what, but he kept looking at the camera and he kept smiling. I'm like, okay. But he was cute. I ain't gonna hold y'all, like, he cute. Anyway, I think, what's her name, Nell asked if him and Destiny slept together. And did he deny it or did he not? I mean, at the end of the day, if they did, now what is that business of yours? Like, you sitting here acting like your son ain't impregnate a woman this entire time in these 9 months. So obviously, prior to the 9 months this lady was pregnant, your son was some other woman. So again, but Destiny is the culprit here. Like, I don't understand. Y'all can really go to hell with this storyline, this slut shaming, and that I just feel like this whole conversation was just messed up. And maybe I'm putting 20 on 10, and maybe I am reaching. But that's just how I feel. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel, y'all. So we get to Destiny and Nell. They meet up to have their chit chat. Destiny want them to get back to the spaces that they used to be in. She said, and she's confused. I guess Destiny is just confused about this whole situation, as to why her and Nell, got to where they got to. Nell told Destiny that, you said you were reevaluating our friendship. Destiny said basically she was reevaluating their friendship because Nell wanted to invite big head ass Sonny and that husband of hers to their party or whatever. And the way Nell made it seem like she didn't have a choice, but I think she didn't, because y'all know Sonny was one of the cast members or whatever. She was a friend of, I guess, and I guess she had to be there. But Destiny felt like, I would have never put Nell in that type of situation. And I think if Nell was in that type of situation, Nell would have felt the way. She really would have felt the way, to the point of yelling. Y'all know how Nell is. And she really would have felt the way, and she would have felt disrespected. So, I guess. Destiny said, Tisha told her that Nell, the Fletchers, and Lancer, that family left because Lance was having a baby. So, Nell was like, that was not the reason why they left. Nell said, and then Nell bring up that, what's her name? Nell bring up where Destiny was flirting with her godson, but while she was dating, and then at the same time dating Lance. But prior to that, Nell was like, Tisha need to stay up out of my business. I didn't really want to talk about that, but she was like, Tisha need to stay up out of my business. And I'm like, well, that's what she got it. That's what she got it. What's the real story? So I guess my question is, and my confusion about this whole thing, because I'm thoroughly confused. That's why I feel like this review is just, when it comes to the Fletchers and Destiny and Lance, it's just all over the place. Did Lance leave because the lady was in labor having a baby? Or did y'all leave because Lance didn't want to be there anymore because he felt the way about Destiny? Like, either way, it was something about Lance, and y'all decided to go ahead and leave with Lance. Like, or was it both? Anyway, Destiny tells Nell that she's upset with her. Tells Nell, you're upset with me for the googly eye comment, but your son is out here making babies. Nell continues, for me, I felt like Nell continues to slut shame Destiny, and I'm just like, I can't at this point. Y'all, this episode, it was good. I was thoroughly confused with this Nell, Lance, Destiny situation, because ultimately I feel like nobody owes Nell a motherfucking thing. You need to mind your damn business when it comes to your grown ass son. And it is what it is. Lance, you need to get out your feelings, and you should have chose better. Sorry. I just think Lance should get out his feelings. I mean, y'all just friends. Y'all was just dating. Y'all was just probably plucking or whatever. But now you just want to play this lady on national TV as if she just messed clean over you. And y'all, I don't like it. I don't like it. All right. This is where the episode ended. I promise you I said that a second ago. Let me know what y'all think, because I felt like Marceau ate Martell the fuck up, and it was well overdue. It was well overdue. Somebody needs to correct Martell in all his negative behavior, because it is trash. It is terrible. And the one thing I will say about that is the fact that y'all wait all the way to season 10 until Martell really start bringing shit on y'all doorstep, as he's always done, or until you're just sick and tired. Now you want to correct Martell when the correcting should have been done, and he should have been checked long ago. So this is why we're here now. Anyway, y'all, I just want to say I appreciate y'all. I may have said it in the beginning for getting me up to 500, for commenting. Like, let me know. I comment back. Like any feedback. Whatever, y'all, let me know. I appreciate y'all so much. Like, so much so. And that's it. Thank y'all. I really hope y'all like my channel. Sit back, relax. Sometimes it get a little choppy. Most of the time, it don't always, but I mean, when I say choppy, that mean colorful. That mean that in my words, look colorful, look cursing and stuff, look going on here. Anyway, no, for real, I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the subscribers, and just kind of keep me in the algorithm. Y'all like if y'all can like the videos. That will help me out so much, y'all. It is just free 99. I just need y'all to help. Just like the videos, share it if you can, and yes. So even before you leave out of this video, if you have not liked, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all in the next video.